What's going on? Hey, Davey, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, I'm here.
Hey, I hear feedback. Can you turn? I don't know if it's the
Hang on.
volume or you're on a headset, right?
I am. Let me see if I can turn it down and see if that'll help.
Okay.
Is any of that better?
Let me see.
Hey,
I can
you hear me?
I can still hear me.
Okay. Let me try this. What about now?
Let me see. Yeah, that's better. Much better.
Okay. All right.
Cool. What'd you do?
I had my chat. Well, I had my chat all the way up, and I think it was coming through the headset.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Speaker versus microphone. Is that better?
You guys aren't showing any naked pictures, are you?
No.
You're not sharing naked pictures, are you?
Yeah. You don't want to see me
sir.
naked. Right now.
Hey, Davey, this is Mike. This is
Hey, Mike.
the guy I was.
Hey, how you doing?
It's nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Up here in Virginia, right outside of D.C.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, I tell you.
Virginia's beautiful, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This part of Virginia, I love it up here.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It is.
Just gets
Right,
mad sometimes, all the crap, but.
Right. Did y'all get snow?
No, hardly at all. We got like an inch maybe.
Okay.
It's sunny out now. Luckily.
Mike owns an IT business or a digital. What is it again? Phone.
Yeah, a technology company.
Cool.
So he's running that and doing the SEO stuff too. And so I think this is probably, like most of us, this is more of our love. Our passion is in the so. I don't know though, Mike. You're a wild man. You probably like all of it together, don't you?
Yeah, pretty
like
much. I got too much going on sometimes. My head spins.
Yeah, no doubt.
How did you two guys get hooked up?
Online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
just
online.
Through, we have a couple of groups that we're a part of, and a lot of the stuff. People come together through trainings, and we just had a couple of people that were in common that we were a part of their training. It's funny, actually. The more you're online, the more you there are a bunch of trainings online. You find that a lot of these groups move together, so
right.
It's pretty cool. Hey, Jeff, what's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? How are we?
Hey.
We're good.
Hey, Jeff, I'm Davey.
Davey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm the guy with no camera.
That's all right. No big deal. We'll get you plugged in regardless.
Yeah, actually, that is pretty funny. The man with the camera has no camera. That is funny.
Well, you see why I'm behind the camera.
That's it.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Davey, and just to let you know, Jeff, I know you were I think you were a part of the call where we talked a little bit about just an extensive background in working for like Home and Garden. It wasn't. You're not working for them. You were contracting for them, right, Davey? For Home and Garden Television, CMT, and Outdoor Channel,
I was
just
contracted to those guys.
Great.
yeah. So he's got an extensive background and something that we just this team really needs. And moving forward, he's going to be a huge asset for what we're trying to accomplish here.
Excellent.
So Jeff's kind of gearing up our SEO side of things. Davey, he's kind of the group SEO leader for the HVAC group. So
Okay.
In layman terms, that means he's the brains of the group.
Well, that's true.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. There you go.
Somebody's got to put all the brains together, that's for sure. And that's what's nice about the way you guys are doing it is, and Andy and I have talked about this, nobody has the expertise in everything, and if you try to do everything, it shows your weaknesses.
Right.
So it's nice to join a lot of people that can do different things.
Plus, you never get anything done if you try to do it all.
That's true.
That's right. And outsourcing can become quite expensive. So, and not only that, but outsourcing is its own little art form in and of itself because unless you have the right people in place, it can be a real nightmare.
Yes.
So, and I guess we all know that from our different backgrounds. I'm sure, Davey, you've had to outsource quite a bit of stuff too, right?
I do, and I try to do is the thing that I do though is I wear a lot of different hats. The things I can do, I outsource what I can't do, but I still get small teams together because it saves on cost, and everybody has to do at least two different things. Nobody can do just one thing, and that's how I pitch it to clients. Is that we're going to put you something together, but it's going to save you money because I'm putting a small team together and we all do more than one thing.
Awesome.
That's right, buddy.
Hey, I'm going to ping Kate and see if she's around.
Yep. I saw your link up there, Jeff.
Yeah. So I popped that in there. One of the things we talked about on the last call was getting into SerpShaker and testing it out. So I did that. I created, I thought I was creating 5 pages, but in fact I created 5 posts. And one of the things I discovered is that once you use the template once, you can't use it again. I'm not really sure why that is the case. But the reason why we're testing, maybe that's a question for you.
Yeah. That's true. Page Ninja did the same thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm not really sure why, but I mean, I guess you can copy and paste the template into another page and reuse it that way. Not that we would necessarily need to, but if you do need to kind of make a tweak. But so I got through the process. I set up some dynamic, what do they call them, short codes. As well as regular short codes for the cities. I just put in the top 25 cities in Texas based on population.
Okay.
That could be 500 cities, but just for the purpose of testing it out, what I went with, and then short state short abbreviation, so TX versus long with Texas, and then you just pop an article in. And you go through, wherever you get that article from. I just pulled it off of a site, again, just obviously because we're testing.
Right.
And then you go through and you basically sprinkle in your short codes that you defined. And it might make sense if you look at it on the back end, if you go in, if you want to. But on a high level, that's what you do, and then you can create dynamic short codes, which they used in the example as the closing paragraph. So you write whatever the closing paragraph is that you want it to be, though that could be a paragraph in the middle of the page, it could be an intro paragraph, but in the example that they used in the training, it was a closing paragraph. So I just wrote something briefly. And then you have the ability to define page categories, which for us, I think, are going to be cities because everything's in the same state at this point.
Right.
And then drilling down from there, and then you define how many posts or pages you want to create, and you build it out. And so I did 5 just to test it out. And so if you go to the home page on the right side, I added a widget just so you could access them.
Yeah.
And that title as well is part of what you define, and you add a short code in there as well. So I wrote HVAC Espanol companies in, and then that's one short code, and Texas is a short code, and then find HVAC. So this is obviously just a demo, but just to get a feel for what it can do.
And thank you for doing that, because that's exactly what we wanted you to do, is just to get in there and start playing around with it.
Absolutely.
What is the website?
Actually, you have to start over right from scratch every single time.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like I said, you can open the page and you can copy and paste it. So you could work around that limitation, but
yeah.
I mean, presumably you're not going to be. What's that?
I'd just be surprised if they're not, if they don't give you that ability, because I mean, like with what we're trying to do, we're breaking it down into one region. It would be nice to be able to, add different, when we're ready for it, to add a different state to it, to add different cities, and instead of recreating the wheel every single time, to actually go in there and take that same template and just plug that stuff in.
Right.
I mean, especially with what we're doing, because the Spanish thing is something that we're kind of we're tiptoeing in. So it's not like we're going out and we're just blasting crap out everywhere. We're staging this thing. So I would think that they would have some kind of I don't know, some kind of process for that.
Like
we'll
I
talk
said,
to Eric and Sean about it and see what they're doing.
Exactly. Eric might have some insight, having used it before.
Okay, cool.
Again, this is just one approach. We don't necessarily have to use this, but we have this tool. So
exactly.
Hey, Davey, did you see the comment on the side of the chat there?
No.
Okay, you asked about the website. It's HVACespanol.com.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And again, it's not really built yet. We're really talking about the structure and the SEO components.
Yep. And Davey, I can get with you individually too, and kind of catch you up with what's going on and what we're trying to accomplish. I think sometimes being able to see it and instead of just talking about it is sometimes it's going to be a benefit. So you and I can get together, since we live close together, and go over some of that stuff. So I'll get you filled in on that.
Okay, cool.
So, cool, guys. Well, let's just go ahead and kind of get in. I know we've been talking a little bit about it. These calls, Davey, just so you know, are recorded conversations. So we can actually, these get posted in our Facebook group, and people can actually go in and they can watch them. If they've missed something, we're really trying to get everybody to get on the call at one time, just as a brainstorming session. And I do realize today is an interesting day for those that are actually located in areas where they were bombarded with snow. I know that makes things a little bit interesting, and things can be chaotic. So that's understood. But what we really need to do is we need to definitely talk about processes beyond this first initial run, and I'll just kind of give everybody a place of where we're at. I have been in communication with Gary in this group, and Jeff has actually given us the access to the best spinner, and I'm going to be getting that over to Gary, and he's going to be fooling around with getting that article spun and put it into the spin tag so that we can use the Surf Shaker to go ahead and blast that stuff out. Mike actually brought up a very good point, and this is probably something that will take place before the Spanish version is going ahead and creating an English version of these articles as well. This has been a lot of talk. There's been some talk going on in the Facebook group about whether or not we were going to do English and Spanish. But I don't see any reason why we don't go ahead and just present both. It just makes sense. If we hit the search engines for English terms where it relates to HVAC and Spanish, or finding companies that are bilingual. I think that it just makes sense to go ahead and start populating for that as well. Kind of give your thoughts on that, Mike. We talked a little bit about that before this call.
Well, what I noticed is, well, number one, and Jeff, you interject here because you have more brain power than I do in this subject, but I would imagine that if you had a site that had, let's say, 300 index pages, right, on a topic or a variety of topics in a particular industry, versus a page that has 600 index pages on the same topic, that would be more powerful, right? I would think it would be more powerful. And what is making me think this, I know recently I have been looking up terms, and I notice sometimes I will type in terms in English and I'm getting a Spanish response also on page 1, and sometimes when I type it in Spanish I'm getting an English response on page 1. So I have a funny feeling that there is some translations being done by Google. I think they're actually translating at least the titles. I don't know if that's true or not, but I would say if we already have the content, we already have it in English. Why not use it? It could not hurt us, and the amount of work is going to be minimum because we're already using that content to manipulate it into Spanish.
Yeah,
and let me just say something real quick.
Yeah,
Jeff. My thought process in it is that the
oh, we just lost him.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, we lost him all together. He's gone. Well, that's funny because he set up the Hangout, didn't he?
Yes.
Wouldn't the whole Hangout go out?
I would think so.
Yeah, I would think so too. That's
So what do we do now?
Well, he's gonna
come back to the
in.
link and come back in and join? Okay.
Yeah, I think he'll be here. Give him a minute.
I was going to agree with you, Mike. If we have the content from the standpoint of moving forward and getting it up there,
right.
I don't see a downside to doing that. Coming back.
Yeah, because I'm looking at what you did on the site, and their posts, and again, post pages, structure-wise, but now this is the right. Oh, you even got links in here too.
Yeah, I was playing around with that. There's functionality to go to the next and the or the previous.
Oh yeah.
And define the anchor text. So I was playing around with that.
Yeah.
From an internal linking standpoint.
Yeah. Well, I just tried some. Do you have on this page? Do you have it turned off for Google to crawl it?
No, I do not. Let me see what the site is set to. The site itself. I don't think they have it on the page. Well, actually, you're right. So let me go into my posts here and see.
Well, the only reason I asked is because I took your title, part of your title, to see if it's ranking just by default, because it is a kind of weird title. Yep. And it wasn't ranking, so I have a feeling we're not crawling the page, which is okay as we're setting it up. We don't really need to.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I dropped off for a minute. Something went wrong, so I was worried that it would drop the Hangout. I love that it actually.
Yeah. We commented on that. We were like, wait a minute, how can he be gone and we're still here?
All right, guys, I dropped off for a minute. Something went wrong, so I was worried that it would drop the Hangout. I love that it actually.
We commented on that. We commented on that. We were like, wait a minute, how can he be gone and we're still here?
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That's a huge
I'm
part
sure.
of the Hangout platform.
Yeah. Okay, well Jeff kind of agreed with the same logic that it doesn't harm to do that, so why not do it?
And what I was trying to say was, I think right from the start that, Google is trying to, fill in the blanks, so to speak. So I think that we take advantage of that, and if we can push, English content, I think the more competitive it gets, they are going to probably look towards stuff that's written in Spanish. But again, we're at the beginning stages of this. We might as well take advantage of it and
Right.
blast stuff out in English as well. So I think that there's no problem in doing that. And again, before we even started this process, I went in to look to see if there were sites out there that were presenting both, and there are. So I don't think there's a problem with that at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to jump back, Mike, to your point, Andy, Mike had asked if I had turned off the indexing for those pages or those posts in the search engine, and I said that I had not. And I just checked at the site level, and because that's generally where that's configured in a WordPress site.
Yeah.
And presently it is not set to be discourage. That's how WordPress words it, is discourage search engines from indexing the site. And they use the word discourage because, as it says in the back end, it's up to the search engines to honor the request. So basically, if you check that, it adds a no index tag to the site and all the pages. Do we want to do that in the short term? Because right now it's live. It is set to be crawlable, if you will. So if Google finds it,
we have not presented. We haven't gone in and asked Google to crawl our site. I know it takes a little bit of time for that to actually work, and to for them to actually see that and to start crawling it. I wouldn't worry about that right now. I mean, the thing is, it's I know we have a lot of dummy pages up there, but I guess we could always throw a robot.txt file in the in the hosting area, just go and put that in there just to not crawl certain sites.
Well, I mean, I could check this off right now and just as easily uncheck it when we feel we're ready. But like you said, there's sites all the time. It's fine. We'll just leave it and
I would just leave it. I was just curious if it would rank, but if we haven't went in and because usually what I do is I go in through the and tell it to crawl it. But I like what you've done. I like the way you set it up. I like the way the categories set up. I like your creativity on your posts. I looked at that title and I'm like, what the heck did he do there? But then when I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. I like that. Because I don't do that, and you've got at least 4 or 5 phrases possible right there.
Right.
Yeah.
You do it. You do everything long tail. Is that how you set up your pretty much set up your descriptions and stuff, Jeff?
Correct.
Right here, his title on this one is HVAC Espanol Companies in Austin, Texas -- find HVAC Espanol providers in Texas.
That's the way they're telling you to do it these days. They're trying to really get away from that exact match crap.
Right.
I mean,
right.
They discourage that, and so if you not only that, but you pick up a lot of terms that you wouldn't pick up otherwise if you do make it more long tail. And we can do a lot of different heading tags. I mean, with 1,000 words, I mean that's a pretty lengthy article. We can go in there and break it up and add a lot of heading tags on that. So and just change it up and make sure that we pick up a lot of different phrases. So good stuff. I really do appreciate you working on that, Jeff. That's huge. And I do appreciate you also getting me the data for the best spinner and stuff today too, so I can get that over to Gary. I really do appreciate that.
My pleasure.
That will help us move forward here. What's the next step, guys? Let's just talk a little bit about this. Past what we've already set up, and the things that have got to get done, just with getting the stuff translated and getting it spun. What's after that? What's the next step that we can start preparing for? To get this moving in a good direction.
Format the page, get the front page right, and the look of the page. What's it going to look like?
Yeah.
I would say get the home page done and your basic sidebar in the interior done.
Who's building that?
Okay. And I did go in. All of us, we're just kind of pitching in here, Davey. And when I say all of us, the ones that are have a little bit of knowledge of how WordPress works, and
Okay.
we're all just kind of pitching in. I did go up there and just clean up the menu this week, just to take some of that stuff off, because there was just a whole lot of crap up there on that top menu. And so we really need to come up with. Let's talk about the top menu real quick. What do we want highlighted there? Because the way that the theme is set up, it has a way that you can actually see the listings. There's a place. I don't think that needs to be an additional menu spot for adding a listing. If we have that that bar up there, it says add your listing here. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah. Well, you have it
Okay.
in two places. You have it up top, add your
Yes.
listing, but then you have that bar, that call to action bar right there underneath the menu.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, we probably don't need it in multiple places. Let's talk about what we want up at that top menu. What are we looking for there? I mean, obviously we want a place where we can connect back to the home page. So we'll have a home tab up there. What else do we want? A contact button up top, or do we want that down at the bottom?
I'm just going from what I mean. You guys are computer guys, and I'm going from just kind of a dude that looks at websites. I love to be able to see everything right when I look at it. I hate scanning down to try to find information. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's me or what. I just know it's kind of like a newspaper for me. I like it, top of the fold, get all the information I need quickly. Because if I got to search for something, I'll move on to somebody else.
Right. Yep.
Totally agree. I was actually thinking what we could do too. I mean, we're going to be highlighting like a 1-800 number, right, Mike? That's kind of our thought process, is to have a 1-800 number. Talk a little bit about what you're thinking for that 1-800 number. Is that a way to collect leads? Is that the idea?
Well, there's two things. Right. So, and again, we talked about this before. There's two purposes for this site. One purpose is for the business owners of these HVAC companies. That's what the home page is for, not for the end user. This is the business owners. So when we develop this page, the content on this page should talk to them. So the tabs, the menus, or the tabs on this page should be specifically towards that business owner only. When you click into one of these listings that Jeff set up, if I go in the sidebar and I click on this, the tabs here should not be the same as the home page. This should be more I would say the categories or the silos, where we talk about the different parts of HVAC, air conditioning, heating, heat pump, whatever the categories are we're going to talk about. And then in here, this is more for the consumer, getting their contacting them with the local business that we attracted on the front of the page. So in here, there will be an 800 number here, but we're not really wanting them to call our number. We want them to call whoever the client is for this page.
Yeah, that was my thought. In terms of the contact us. Are we
You're
really?
talking not the home page, but you're talking the home page. You want the business owner to call that one
Yes.
number, right? And that will
Yes.
connect us.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Now, what we're not going to have customers for all these cities initially, right? So we're still going to we're still going to have to, you know, gather leads, you know, and then that's a good selling point because with those leads we can call a client up and say, oh, by the way, I got three leads, 5 leads. Do you want them? You know, test these out, type of thing. Uh, but they're two different numbers, or they can be the same, but they should be two different numbers. There should be like a corporate number, which is for the business owners to call us, and then a number to where clients call, you know, that we don't have a customer yet for.
Yes.
You know, and
Okay.
again, that should also be a local number, not a 800. So, you know, that should be whatever the area code is for Texas. That number should be a local number to that area, not an 800 number.
Exactly. I think that the homepage really needs to be more about two things: a mission statement and a call to action. And everything in the homepage needs to scream call to action.
Right.
So we definitely need to have that 1-800 number that's visible.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you guys, we could even build that into the header if you want to. I don't know how we want to take advantage of that, but it definitely needs to be something that's very visible. The fact that we do have that bar up top that's very visible where somebody can go ahead and create their own listing, which I think will be valuable. But we really need to, since this is going to be for the business owner, we need to come up with a list of things that we're going to do for businesses. What
Right.
can we do?
Right.
And this is going to actually bring us into the monetization part of our site. So we need to kind of think this week about services initially that we want to offer, so that when those phone calls start coming in, we can give them a list of things that we're doing.
Yes.
So why don't we identify that this week? That might be something to actually, get some conversation going in the Facebook group, and to also, regenerate some people here. Is let's actually get in and start talking about what basic services are we going to present to people right from the start.
You know, Andy, this is
yes.
one of my strengths. I'll lead this part.
You got it.
I understand what you're trying to do. So on the home page, I'll start the conversation, and I already have like 5. I just came up with 5 that I know we could do here, and I'll start that communications on Facebook, see what others think, and add to it. And so that would be for the home page. And then we should also just do the same thing, reverse it over to the consumer. And parts of that will overlay to the homepage of how is that going to work for them, because one of the drawbacks that we're going to have, and we have to recognize it right from the beginning and even announce it so it doesn't become an objection, is this whole thing with the directory is a great idea for us, but when you're a business that if I'm a HVAC company in McKinney, Texas, right, and I like the idea, I like what we're doing, and we got this page, but then I see right in here you're showing my potential client all these competitors. I don't want them to see that on this page. So we have to make sure that directory is not visible on the page that they're going to be paying for.
I agree. I mean, and I think some of that. I mean, there are obviously going to be ways that somebody can click to another section of the website, and they're going to find that. But if we're highlighting a business, and I guess that's what you're talking about, creating a highlighted, blast basically, where we actually try to go out and get people ranking on the search engines. I think that's going to be pretty blatant. I don't think that there's going to be any crossover there, so I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, don't you think? I mean, if we create like a page, I don't think that's going to really be tied into the directory. Now, there may be some things that are going to get ranked for. I mean, when you tie in categories, Google's going to especially if we use an SEO plugin. I mean, if somebody types in, Dallas, Texas, HVAC, Dallas, Texas, they may give precedent to the directory over, a page that we're blatantly trying to go out and rank for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but what I'm really talking about though, Andy, is more of the what's on the page.
The
Making
page.
sure, just making sure that we don't have those links on, on the page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the directory will be organized where that won't happen. Again, they can always click off and go to the directory and do a search. But, I just think about Yellow Pages. This is going to be very, very much like Yellow Pages and how or RevLocal. I think about them too. RevLocal does these, these one-page layout for businesses, and they specifically go out and market for that one business. But then they also have a directory side of things. So I think we can control that and be pretty easy. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, Jeff, you're dead on. That link you shared, dead on. Yeah, that's good. Jeff just shared a real nice link with us, Andy, in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And then at the top, Mike, if you drop down, you can go to HVAC. They term it as air conditioning and heating, but just kind of as a frame of reference. I'm wondering if the focus of the homepage shouldn't be the directory, though, in the sense of we're selling to businesses, but ultimately what we're providing them is hopefully leads.
Right.
And those leads are the customers. So the site has to, if I'm a customer and I come to the site and I see all of the information about businesses, like from marketing towards businesses, I may not realize or look further. I might feel that it's not for me.
Well, that is true. That is true. It's really going the opposite direction, and I see exactly what you're saying. Like this is good. I like this, the way this is set up, but vice versa should not happen. Meaning, if they get to your post that you created there on the sidebar, if I rank that sidebar post and I'm at this post, it should not be inherently clear how to get all the way back. I mean, we should not be promoting any, if they hit home, then of course they're going to hit home, and that's fine, right? And the message is, this is a site that has all the best, HVAC companies in Texas, right?
We can control that. We can control that probably through the template that we choose, Mike.
Yeah.
For the businesses, because I mean we can go in there and select templates. So if we select a template that's, the same kind of template for the directory, then I see what you're saying. But we'll choose a different template for that, and I think that will correct it.
Yeah, this was a good share. I like this. This gives us some good reference points.
And if I'm not mistaken, is a template's on the page side of things, right? Not the post side of things.
You can change both.
Yeah.
You can
customize them. Yep.
Yeah.
Without a plugin, you can.
Sure. You just have to get in at the code level if you're comfortable enough editing PHP. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, sure, the plugins can help you do that. But
I'm just saying, like from the start, like if you actually go in and you like, let me do this. If you create just a post or a page, I think it's a page, right from the start over on the right-hand side, you can see very easily where you can change that template.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not that way with the post.
It can be, though.
Yeah, but I think it becomes a little bit more complicated. You have to, that's what I'm saying. I think you have to have a plug-in or actually go in and change code up. Am I right on that? I mean, that's kind of my thought on it, and my experience in the past.
It's basically the same process as far as creating custom page templates or custom post templates, and they function the same way.
Okay.
So maybe you do a full width post, so there's no sidebar, that type of thing. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm just looking at it now so I can get familiar with it. And okay. Anyway, good stuff. I think that's these are valuable conversations that we're going to be having. So yeah, Mike, if you would go ahead and just lead that discussion
I
in the
will.
Facebook group. I like that page in terms of that Jeff shared, because the menu up top is very organized, and it's there's not too much. I mean, that's the thing that we have to be careful of when we're presenting to people, is that we give them too much information. We need to have like something very clear, and I always like that lead magnet idea where you
Right.
actually lead with something that's very inexpensive,
Right.
to give them the opportunity to get in, and then we can actually take it from there and use our salespeople to actually go out and upsell them on things. Is that kind of what you guys are thinking as well?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Great.
So that would be a positive thing to use the directory for that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So what do you think about going ahead and you think we should go ahead and purchase the 1-800 number to go ahead and get it up there?
Not yet. I
Okay.
would say yet, just because we don't have content yet, and
Yeah.
there's really no purpose for it. I just use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for now.
Okay.
But just as a placeholder for it.
Okay.
Because once you get the 800 number, you're paying for it right there and then, and we have no
Exactly.
practical use for it yet.
Exactly. Okay. And just to kind of also I'm gonna create some chat about this week too. Now that we've got Davey as a part of the team, I'm going to be talking with him and having him kind of be the lead on some of that video stuff.
Yeah.
And so I want to get some a couple of people that want to be a part of the video side of things, and let's go ahead and start building out stuff on some of our Web 2.0 properties. I know we've talked a little bit about this, but let's start thinking about some of that stuff. Davey, just to let you know, this may be something that we really want to talk to you about specifically, but we want to have some kind of video presence on the home page.
Okay.
To really engage with the business owner, and the more professional that is, the better it's going to be. So we've talked a little bit about that, but of course, well, the homepage is going to be in English, right? I mean, so we can have that initial video in English.
Yes. Yes.
So we just need to go ahead and start planning for that. Davey does some awesome conversation style, where he'll like interview you and ask you questions, but he pieces it together to make it look really professional.
Yeah.
So, maybe we utilize some of that stuff. Any thoughts on that?
Sounds good.
Okay.
That's what we need.
Well, I can do any of that stuff. So just figure out how we want it to look and what we want to do, and then we'll just start doing it.
Yep.
Dave,
Perfect.
do you do that remotely?
You mean just do I got to if I got to interview you? Somebody's got to. We've got to. Where are you at? I mean, where are you from?
He's
where
in
you at now?
Florida.
I'm in South Florida, but I'm just asking in general. I'm actually thinking about a different use case, but for a different project. But
Gotcha.
you work remotely, or do you have to be face to face with a person?
It just would. I mean, I could do it remotely, but it's not going to look as good because
Sure.
I've got a light and make the backgrounds look nice and all that. If you just
Exactly.
wanted information, you could do it, but
I mean, at the first, I mean, we can always make it more template driven, and Davey could go in there and work with the audio and stuff like that, and just make it look and sound good. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that we need to have somebody actually on camera where they see real people that are part of this company, or what? What are you thinking on that, guys?
well, I'll just give you my opinion. People are more trustworthy of seeing people.
Yeah.
Then-
Believable. More believable.
More believable. Yeah, I think it works better, but it all depends on what we can do and who we get and that kind of stuff. It matters who we have on camera.
Right.
You know, I think what's really cool here is we have a combination of a lot of things coming together. You know, some of us in this group have some mad skills with what you can do with video other than with a camera, right? So there's some really cool typography type stuff we could do,
Yeah.
screen share, slide share. If we can marry some of that with somebody that actually knows what they're doing with real video, right? And taking components of both of them into one real powerful short message that could really capture that person, I think that will be the best, because you're just going to awe them when they see the video, because it's not going to be something that they ordinarily would see with the combination. A lot of times they'll see one, you know, and it's either cheesy or whatever. Here, we could do it in a very professional way, but keep them really excited about the video all in a short period of time. You know, and then again, that also is a way to help us sell our service, because we can talk to that, you know, that we're not just doing the regular stuff that everyone else does.
Do you guys
Well,
envision that having several people like do like little 10-second, 15-second like clips and him tie all that in together, or are you thinking, I guess that's my question, are you talking about maybe a few of us getting together and having a professional background and actually dressing up and like, you know, having a few things to say on camera and then him blending all that together? Is that kind of your thought process, or are you wanting it to be more of a template?
No, that was, I like that idea too, but that's not what I was thinking. But I just thought of Salvation Army thrift store, all of us going to get in, you know, plumber and HVAC uniforms. No, that's not what I was thinking, but that's a good idea too. No, what I was thinking is having a, you know, a video shot or shoot, you know, a real video shoot of somebody talking about, you know, the business of HVAC or air conditioning repair as well. And you know who did this recently? Owen did this for something. I can't remember what it was, but he did some kind of video where he had the video and then he also did some screen stuff, you know, slide share stuff in the video. I don't know if any of you guys saw that video. But
Where is it? I'll go look at it. Do you know where I can?
I'll send you a link.
And then I'll comment on it.
He's a big
Okay.
video guy that most of us know
Okay.
in San Diego, and he does video. I would assume similar to some of the stuff that you do, but he's in our circle because he's learning to do some of the other stuff, and he did a video like that where he had your traditional real video, but then he mixed in some of the other stuff in the video. So he would do like a, whatever you call that, a jump, whatever, where he went from the video, and then there was like a typography or whatever slide share, and then he would bounce back into a video.
Sure.
I've seen Dave work on some of that stuff. He very much does that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we could
They're all
definitely
married together pretty much. That's the way it's
Right.
going.
Right.
I guess the question is though, is it when he's saying remote? I mean, is that something that we can do where, you know, how are we going to do that from a filming perspective?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I'm
my
more
question.
than willing to do whatever I need to do and to participate on that side of things if I need to do that. You know, and Davey can stage it in a way that he'll ask questions, short questions that just get answered, and he can blend all that together. I'm open-minded to whatever, but you guys talk about that and think about that, and I guess I'm just not seeing it yet how we want to set that up.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, to get everybody in, all you guys in, I mean, you got to fly somewhere to do it, and it makes more
That's
sense. I guess what you're talking about, Andy, is me and you are here,
Yeah.
and we could use you, and then we could maybe use remote with Mike and Jeff, if we needed to say something, pop it up on screen, give it some action, give it some movement. It'll definitely give it a different look.
We're starting to break
It'll
up.
be kind of cutting edge, but we need somebody to be pretty much the spokesman, and
Yes.
we can blend all the other stuff with it. And since you and I are here,
Yeah.
we live down the street from each other,
Yeah.
it's costing us nothing other than time.
Yeah.
You know, if we have to go
And I'm
fly
doing
somewhere to
whatever.
do something, or somebody flies into us, it's just money that you don't need to spend. I don't think. Just my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay doing whatever. I mean, you know, I'll do my part. And if guys, if you can think of a way that you would tie in doing stuff that's you know, doing it away from Davey, then you know we can do that however we want to do it. I just think we need to talk about it and you know, go ahead and come up with something. I mean, hey, if we have a professional video presence, you know, at the start, I think that that's going to say a lot for what we're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Davey, you and I will get together and we'll talk about that, and
Okay.
you know, we can have some ongoing conversation with the guys about it too. But that's just something that we definitely need to, you know, be thinking about as we move forward. So, it is about 45. Go ahead.
Well, I just know video works. It works on people's emotion. It gets people excited to do something. I've done it for 27 years, and I've seen people really get excited about video for whatever reason. The one thing that video does well, it carries emotion, and emotion is drives sales, and a lot of times. So you got to get people excited about it, and putting the right campaign together, video-wise, makes a huge difference. And you just got to get it out and let people see it, and let them keep seeing it. And we don't have to do anything long at all. I mean, really, a minute 30, we ought to be able to tell our story in a minute 30, pretty much. Because if you get much longer than that, people are just going to click you off. And that's what I tell clients all the time. I try to save people money all the time by saying, look, you don't want to have a big, giant, long video because people will click it off. And so that's my 2 cents on that stuff. And that's what I try to tell people. Make your message concise, make it quick, memorable, and move on, and just saturate people with it. And then when it runs its course, you'll know it runs its course, and you do something different.
I totally agree. And I mean, if we have some clear, you know, five call to actions, you know, on what we're trying to do, then we can easily tie that in with video. That won't be hard. So I guess what we need to do is just really identify what the call to action is going to be on that home page, and then we'll just blend that in with video. We can figure out what we're going to do from there. But I definitely want it to look professional, and you know, make the business owner say, yeah, I want to trust these guys with my money. So, well, cool, guys. I don't want to keep you guys any further. I know we've kind of we've gone on here, and you know, the biggest thing is just you know, creating some activity. Anything additionally that you guys want to add to the call today? I appreciate each one of you being a part of it.
Well, welcome you, Davey. Really glad to see you to be involved. That's great, and we agree. Video is going to be very important here.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
I know all this right now is kind of over my head. It's not kind of what I do, but I think it's the way of the future.
We're interested in what you do. You don't need to, you know, you don't really need to you know, try to learn new stuff. That's really not important.
Well, thank you.
Yep. and you'll learn some of it, Davey, as you're moving along with us. You know, some of this other stuff will, you know, be natural for you just to kind of see what's happening, and you know, as you have questions about things, we'll be more than happy to, you know, answer any of those questions for you. So
it'll rub off.
The biggest thing is just taking the marketing and adding that professional look to it.
Okay.
So cool.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and end the call, and you know, let's just keep the communication moving in the Facebook group. Mike, we'll look for your post in there, and then I'll also start talking about it.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then I'll start talking a little bit about the video stuff on there too, and trying to get a couple of people, you know, underneath Davey's wing there.
Awesome.
Sounds good, guys.
Cool.
All right.
All right,
see ya.
guys.
See ya.
Y'all have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.